Alright, cool. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a VOD review of the Splatoon 2 Inkling Invitational, and I'm also going to do Smash and Splash 3 finals. And then I'm going to talk about coaching and the future of like Splatoon, like in the LAN setting and kind of where I see everything going. And then I might also talk about like the stuff we learned about Splat 2 as far as like my predictions for the like how the meta is going to go and stuff like that. So let's start with this VOD review.
In orange for Deadbeat, they're going to go with the heavy splatling.
Alright, I'm going to turn down this commentary though. Hopefully that's not too loud for you guys. So no invincibilities or quick respawn and stealth jump is really making this like extremely paint heavy, and this Dynamo is like insanely good for that. Like I'm not gonna like I'm just gonna call it like Deadbeats ends up winning this, but like the Dynamo and Adubaru basically like together are like the only reason they even had a chance, because they were just playing so well on their own, and the Dynamo is just insanely strong. So they start off getting like a really good lead, and then Deadbeat gets a couple really important kills, and getting the control was like super important. The only thing is that I feel like they were spreading out a little too much here, like at certain points. Like they were basically, everybody was looking in different directions and they weren't really changing what they were looking at any point, and Dynameu ends up getting control back at some point because of that. What it really seems like though is the Japanese team doesn't really know how to take back without like invincibilities or just like spamming quick respawn. They were like really scared to move forward. They waited a long time. And the other major thing is I think that they probably should have just did what Deadbeat did and not run Charger, because while I still think the Charger is probably going to end up being good, I think that you really need to grind it a lot before it's going to be something that you can feel comfortable with. Just like throwing it out there with like little to no preparation is going to be, it was really risky. But yeah, like watching Dynamon and like all of the things he's doing, like I think Dynamo is going to be really good. He's not using ink mines like at all though. I don't think I see him use a single ink mine the entire tournament. And with what I understand about ink mines, it's actually going to be like insanely powerful. Like for holding control of an area or flanking, it's going to be just so good. Also, that ink cloud looks really weak. Like at first I thought it was going to be super good, and then after seeing it, it's like it doesn't stay on an area long enough for it to like fully paint it, and it moves forward too fast to like really be relevant. Like I could see it maybe being good as like a do it as your team's like trying to push, like just like funnel down in an area and push up. But I don't even know if that's really going to be all that great. Like Hexen's just standing under it for like it moves over him so quick and it doesn't do anything to him, and like it doesn't really paint much around him or anything. Also, I want to like shout out these commentators, because like especially the play-by-play guy, he definitely did his research. He knew a lot of things that like you wouldn't just like know from like looking at the game for like a couple hours, and he understood a lot of stuff about our meta that he wouldn't have otherwise.
Normally averages 20 splats per match. You can see how an individual effort can turn the tide. 38-22. However, just 4 seconds left in that penalty for Dynameu.
Something I think that Pangit's doing really weird every time I've seen him like use his special is he's like insta casting it rather than trying to abuse the knowledge that you can get from it. I don't know if that's like a conscious decision on his part or if he's just not comfortable with it and he's like spamming it as fast as possible.
seconds left. 22-25. Penalty going down for Deadbeat.
It looks like, you know, not just him's doing it. Like Kakashi is doing that too, and I really don't think that's the best way you can use Tenna missiles. I think like using it as like a call out thing is going to be the better way to go. You like scan the whole map really quick and then pick where to shoot is probably the best way. But they're also like in like really deep, so maybe they're just like panicking or just not wanting to be immobile for a long amount of time. That death though from Kakashi is pretty much what lost them this game, because that let Pangit get in here.
Dynameu, they just need to hold on. We see the Deadbeat missiles. They lost control. Can Deadbeat seize control? And Deadbeat going to do a fine job.
They pretty much just lost off of like dying to that bomb. Oh yeah, these commentators were way better than the ones at ESL. For ESL, I don't even think they like had played the game. Like it was really obvious that they didn't know much. Whereas this time around, like they definitely did some research, and I think according to Hitzel, like I don't remember his name, but he like came up to them and asked like, you know, if all of his information was correct and asked for like certain terms and stuff like that. That's why he was saying like Pachink and other things, even though he was like saying Pachink for like snipers, but he was still like trying, and it was obvious that he had like verified a lot of the information he had. The main, like my only real complaint for the commentators was the guy on the right that was controlling the camera. He got better as it went on, but he was really missing a lot of important stuff. And I don't know if that's because they just told him to like try and use the overhead as much as possible, but he was also just jumping to people in the or jumping to people's point of view in really bad times. But Deadbeat, I think Deadbeat like had the best idea for composition with little practice, because they just went like heavy paint. They skipped out on the Dynamo after the like Hexen. I think it was mostly Hexen didn't feel comfortable with it because they played it early on and then just didn't play it after that. But with the double splatter shot, they had a lot of paint, and like especially with how good the heavy splatling is with painting in this game. I'll get to the sprinkler part in a minute, but like the heavy splatling is like insanely good. Like it might be one of the best in this like of the available weapons in this, because it's just so versatile, and it like has like an insane painting power. Like because I don't know if this will tell you, but like that sprinkler, it paints so quick when you throw it down. Like it's insanely quick, and it like on the certain zones games. I don't know if it was the zones in this set, but like they had it in top mid, and it would seriously like throwing that sprinkler there was like outpainting like 3 people. It was crazy. Like sprinkler is so good right now. But yeah, I think Deadbeat was winning this purely off of their like painting ability on their whole team. Like the other team had a charger and a blaster, I think, and then with double Tenatech and splatling, even though they had a Dynamo, it was just irrelevant. They're also doing a pretty good job of like putting pressure on Dynameu or Dynamon. Hexen got a little antsy there because he was like, oh, I got a double kill, maybe I can make the huge play, and then he just was like in a really bad spot in Dynamon, but punished him hard. I can't get over, like, I want to pause there for a second. I can't get over how insane the range is on the vertical swing on the Dynamo. Like, that, like right there, that is nuts. That went at least halfway back on that snipe, and if he shot it to the right, he could paint the entire snipe, like, on his own, sitting right there. That's insane. That's crazy. Like, the vertical swing is going to be so useful for certain things. Like, if Port Mackerel returned, Dynamo would probably be top tier on it. And, like, it's the opposite of this current game, because, the like, Splatoon 1 Dynamo's worst map is probably Port Mackerel. Out of Arrow makes a huge play right here. Oh, so clean. And there's a couple examples of that, but that's why I think Stingray is bad, because even though he knew where Hexen was and he was shooting at him, like Hexen just literally just moved through it and around it and just didn't get punished at it by like at all. So like even though they buffed it, I think it's probably still the worst special. Although maybe Ink Cloud is, or like Ink Storm, whatever the heck they're calling it. Maybe that might be worse, but I didn't really get enough like there weren't enough like really good views of what it was doing. I need to see it from the perspective of the person using it to really understand it better.
Dynameu trying to make their critical push in this match. Deadbeat trying to keep them at bay. 2 minutes left in this one. 2-2 on the field.
This is a really good save by Pangit and Tim. It was actually looking pretty grim right there. Yeah, I think overall with this, I think that if the Japanese team had just not run a charger, they would have like this would have been a much closer set. Like the charger was like holding them back a lot, and even though I still think charger long term is going to be like top tier or better, it's going to take some getting used to before it's going to be really abusable. Yeah, Tim's Ink Res is like actually making him move like crazy. Sanic builds are going to be crazy on this. Like half swim speed, half ink resistance is just going to be crazy. Not really sure what Tim was thinking here. I don't think he really knew what to do. Because he either should have just gone straight up or just like... But he really should have just gone straight up. Because I think they could have got the knockout there if he was actually up there with Pangit. And Power just didn't get out in time. And that's what opens up the push for the comeback here. This game was theirs to lose, and they did lose it. They just didn't play that last push right, and then everybody died. Poison Cloud, by the way, is going to be absolutely bonkers. Like, I think it's going to be a mandatory. Like, you have to have like Poison Cloud on everybody. Like every team. Like, there's going to be at least one on every team, I'm sure. And apparently the way the sub power-up, or whatever the heck it's called, works is it just basically gives it bomb range, according to Hitzel, so... And it's, like, more effective than old bomb range, so, like, it's gonna be, like, halfway across the map, you're just gonna be throwing clouds at places where chargers are gonna stand, and just cause, like, insane pressure. But it's, like, a great, like, anti-rush ability, because you can just literally just throw it down right in front of you and back up, and they can't do it. They can't approach at all. Like, its radius is wide enough that you can pretty much get away no matter what you do. You just throw it like right in front of your feet, like between you and them, and then back up. Like, it's gonna be so good. Let's skip to the next game. It was really good on Deadbeat though. They lost that game in a really bad way, but they didn't get tilted off of it. In this map, like, they play this really well. So, I don't know if you can't see my mouse, but actually let me enable it. Oops. How do I do that? Show mouse, there we go. Okay, now you can see it. So, Dynamo in this map is going to be nuts, because this is an insanely safe position, and with the range on the Dynamo, I'm pretty sure you can paint this, like, pretty much this entire radius with vertical or like main flicks. Like, I'm surprised that we don't see the Dynamo just sitting here the whole game. He ends up like sitting like a little further up, like right here, and it lets him get flanked a lot, like especially from around here. He gets killed a lot. They also pick the dualies, and dualies is another weapon where I'm like, it might be good long term, but people really need to grind it before they're gonna like actually do well with it. Like, it's gonna be one of those weapons where like the people that main it are gonna do amazing with it, but like nobody else will want to play it or be good at it. This is such a good trade for Power here. Like, Kakashi got so greedy. He didn't wait for his teammate. They could have just waited for the teammate and got that guy, but I think they were pretty much just on tilt. Like, it's just, they were making decisions that just did not make sense for a top Japanese team. Yeah, the Dynamon, he's actually sitting up here, which maybe in that situation was okay, but he totally could have got right here to put pressure on Hexen and let his teammates push up, because that just made Kakashi just decided to go ham and then died for no reason.
Yeah, they're obviously playing a lot more aggressive than they did in their round robin turf wars. They are getting into enemy territory. They are rushing down their opponents, but you know they gotta win those one-on-ones.
I think what it is with Dynamon is he's not used to the fact that he has a sub that is like not sprinkler. You know what I mean? Like I think he's used to just playing the sprinkler one and not using his sub very much. See, Power's abusing this spot. It's not as like effective with the splatling, I think, but it's still probably pretty good. And that was a huge outplay.
He barely pulled off that heavy splatling before he got splatted himself.
This is such a weird interaction. Like, he got so many hit markers and still like traded. It just it almost seemed like lag. Like, it didn't seem right. Another thing is like I'm really worried because I'm seeing this like during the tournament. Dynamon was on stream a lot because they were like all hyped about him and like putting him on camera a lot. But like, there's a lot of situations where like the ink from the Dynamo was coming out like later than the swing and from spectator mode. I don't know if it acted like that like in the game for the players, but like it was obvious that it was doing that in spectator mode, and that makes me a little worried that the netcode's a little messed up. Because like at this point, netcode is like the only thing that could be wrong to like ruin the game. This is really, really scary for Deadbeat because they got like, I think it was 3 down right there, and I didn't even really follow how they came back, but they got lucky. It was a good flank from Tim. That's pretty much what did it. Yeah, it's like the comms for the Japanese team were just not very good too, because like they kept dying to like people flanking, or like, you know, like a lot of them would die to the same person over and over again, and it was really kind of punishing them hard. I don't think bare minimum should be 60 hertz. I mean 20 is totally serviceable, but 12.5 is just a joke. Like 20 is like 20 is the bare minimum. Like that's like, you know, it's really low, but like, I mean, Splat 1 was like that, and we made it through that whole game, so it is what it is. Whereas 12.5 is literally like, that's awful. Like, you can almost just like, you can actually like almost move your fingers as fast as that. Like, that's crazy. And then if it's, especially if it's that way on LAN too, like if it's that way on line is one thing, but if it's the same tick rate on LAN as it is on line, that could be really, really bad, because then LAN is gonna lag too. Or rather, not lag, but like it's gonna have like random bad prediction stuff. I really don't like this map. It's like a weird version of Flounder Heights, and it's got a lot of awkward angles that just don't feel right to me. It's like the only one where I'm like, it's not that good. But it might just be I'm not used to. I need to play it a little more. But in the beta, it definitely felt really wrong. Like the test fire just felt off pretty bad to me.
Just doing everything in his power to target the Rainmaker. He did that with Autobaro. Autobaro picked up the Rainmaker. He was like, no, my friend. No, not today.
Slosher is also like insanely strong right now. I think they buffed it like a pretty noticeable amount. It's either the range or the hitbox is bigger, because they are just like some of the kills that the Slosher is getting and just don't, like, it's not stuff that it could do before. I actually think this new Rainmaker shot might actually be more powerful than the old one, while at the same time making the Rainmaker not as like independent as it used to be. So like it's not as good. It's gonna be harder to get those like crazy like solo pushes that like Tim just got, but it's gonna be way better at like coordinated pushes because like I think it was during the Dynameu versus the Australian team. I forget their name. It's like Brocktolings or something like that. And they get like the Rainmaker gets like a crazy triple kill because of the delayed shots and how big the radius is. It's insane how big the radius is, and like because they're like distracted by teammates, like it just gets like insane pressure. But solo, it's like it can't do anything. Like it can't even really paint for itself very well. This is crazy from Tim right here. Adubaro got really greedy. His quality is actually pretty bad too. I don't know why. I don't remember it being that bad on stream. Yeah, I think in general more organized pushes are going to be important. Like right now in this game, like even as we are right now, organized pushes just don't happen. Like especially since the quick respawn meta has become a thing. It's like the importance of like playing together is just gone. It's like all like right now the teamwork is like situational teamwork rather than planned teamwork, and that's something I don't like about the current meta. So I think the general idea behind this map is going to be you need to push over mid to the right side rather than go like down and right, because if you get somebody like later on in this game you'll see, but getting somebody like in this area to stop a push is like crazy. It's super strong, but like you can't actually get them out of there like going straight into it. You still have to go over mid to stop them or to get them out. Like right here, right there, right where Hexen is. This is like the best push stopping position. Like he doesn't even have to move until right now. Yeah, this is like easy money for him. They probably, I think they might have lost the game if Hexen wasn't already in that spot. I mean, overall, like, I think it's partially, I think Japan was just also, like, not playing well, in addition to the fact that they were adapting really slow. They were trying to play old meta style throughout this whole time. Like, they were playing like they had quick respawn, they were playing like they had, they could use invincibility specials to get back in, but then they were just like, wait, where's our special? Like, this isn't working. I can't move. And they also weren't using their subs very well either. That was also like really weird. Like, you see Deadbeat just spamming subs all the time, like burst bombs, like sprinklers, like everything. It's everywhere, and I don't even see like it's really rare when I see a non-bomb used from Dynameu. Yeah, they should have known Hexen was there, but like even when they did finally react to it, like they didn't react properly. So the big Moray changes that I really like is all of the platforms are a little closer together, so it's not as easy to fall off, and then like bottom mid is just way more open, and it's definitely gonna play like. If it had to come back, at least these changes make it not awful. I think basically the bottom mid area of the map is just totally fine now. It's actually probably a good map. The only real issue is it's just spawn is so far away at this point.
Yeah, this is a huge thing for anybody who's ever been splatted in Moray Towers by a charger. That's going to be a really handy change.
And also, like, disruptors are insanely good on this map. Like, I'm surprised we're not seeing so many, like, way more disruptors being thrown. And by disruptors, I mean that toxic mist.
On Dynamo, and that is huge as Deadbeat gonna ride this to the first checkpoint. They've got a 4-3 advantage. They've got to lock it down.
This first checkpoint is gonna, like, when people start getting good at the game, this first checkpoint is gonna be so hard to pass. Like, it's a full, it's like a full 10 seconds, like 10 actual seconds. It's 20 points, but I think 10 seconds, and it's just, like, that's gonna be so hard to, like, get through when people are, like, actually playing the way they should with this game. Really good kill. Really good kill. I think Tim got a little too antsy for the knockout here. I think if he tried to stay alive, they would have had a better chance to knock out like a couple seconds later. Because Pingit had almost gotten back.
Yeah, I mean, you can see, oh man, Tim is working really, he's working overtime right now, trying to take out everybody, takes out Dynamo. That was a huge, huge splash.
Deadbeat hopping back on the tower again. They see how close victory can be to them. Meanwhile, Dynameu, they are still fighting for survival in this tournament. We
see that disruptor like single-handedly stopped the blaster from like getting anywhere near tower. Like, it's so good, and it lasts like, I don't even know how long that was. Like, let me go back and see if I can time how long that is. Doesn't. So it's about 6 to 7 seconds. Like, that is a long-ass time in Splatoon. Like, insanely long time. It's gonna be so good at choking points, and like, if you run like Sub-Saver, it's gonna be, you can I think Hitzel said you can have 3 up at the same time.
No way, they're being very aggressive. They want this, they can taste those super sea snails.
Kakashino going with the Tenta missiles. That's certainly gonna help right there. However,
But the spectator mode is like insanely good presentation wise. I think my only real issue with it is you can't, like, I hope there's like a way you can turn on the reticles for players long term, because I think as like a viewing thing, I really not seeing the reticles like means I like miss some certain things as far as like people's like aiming strategy or like aiming ability, and or like what they're paying attention to is a little harder to figure out. But this view is going to be so nice. This like objective following view. I really love this.
meanwhile, you see Dynameu just being patient, waiting for the tower. We're at a minute 30. Still enough time, but you're going to start limiting the amount of pushes you have. If you're Deadbeat, you've got to stay aggressive still here after.
Yeah, I mean, we saw what happened before. I mean, this is...
God,
they have
that
there's
vertical flick is going to be so obnoxious.
last minute of this match.
Oh my god.
Trying to push into Deadbeat territory. Meanwhile, Dynameu going to hop
Like,
on the tower.
Dynamon is making the Dynamo for Splat 2 actually look fun to play. Like, I think I'm probably gonna try it early on. See if I can, like, get a good feel for it. Because, like, especially with the new ink mines, it's, like, gonna be really nice.
They survive as Rock and Rune. It's a 3-3 equal footing on the field. 3-2 advantage though. Walker
This fight is, like, hilarious.
behind the counter. However, tower lost. They didn't hop on it. 44 seconds. 6 to 53. One more checkpoint remaining for Dynameu. If they win, they continue to keep this grand finals going on. If Deadbeat is victorious, it's over. 4-2 advantage on the field for Deadbeat, and after this is where Deadbeat has to make that final championship push.
They absolutely have to push.
Adebaru almost got the direct there. I think if he did that, like they might have had a chance.
Is a force to be reckoned with a slosher. You do not want to be in his face.
This could be the final 18 seconds of our tournament. 6 to 41 lead for Deadbeat. You see Deadbeat pushing deep into Dynameu territory. However, that splashdown will be negated. 10 seconds left.
And also, Splashdown's better than I expected it to be. It's really good at, like he kind of misplayed a little bit there because he waited a little too long. But it's going to be really good at just, like, baiting people out. It's going to be good at punishing close-range weapons.
Everybody's jumping onto this tower right now.
I think it's triple kill right here. Is it crazy? I wish they were watching Paying It there. But yeah, like, it's actually pretty crazy that they won this because Dynameu is like a really, really good Japanese team. It's a lot of really good Japanese players, and they ended up like 4-winning them on LAN. Like a lot of people, like nobody expected that. I don't think. And if they did, it wasn't like a realistic expectation for them to win it. But yeah, that one. Oh, that was a really good showing from us, and I think NA winning there was actually so good for our scene because now Deadbeat is just going to be like really well known, and by extension, like everything they are in is going to be really well known. Like I think it was like 40,000 people were watching that at the end. Like that's just unheard of. I'm super happy about it.